Oh gosh, as I wait for my mac and cheese cup to cool down so I can put the cheese powder in it and not eat lava mac and cheese. I was writing in my journal and just writing about how I need to eat more. I had lots of pizza. I'm gonna have 2 cheese cups, maybe a hot dog or two. But I was just really sitting with the fact that I've been journaling since I was 5 years old, and I've been drawing since I was 3 years old. And as I've been talking about it, it really resonates with me how I've always been the person that I wanted to be, and it's just really not my fault that like society, the world, or whatever doesn't like that. It's like people laughed at Edgar Allan Poe, people ridiculed Victor Van Gogh, or Victor Van Gogh if you prefer. And there are so many beautiful minds in the past. I mean, they burned Joan of Arc at the stake. And all that they were trying to do, some people call Joan of Arc all they were trying to do was hide. Uh, that's why Joan of Arc, or she, if you prefer, dressed as a man, was literally just to hide. And honestly, schizophrenic or not, a lot of the voices were just kind of trying to help guide her. And then you have the Salem witch trials, um, the theft of jazz and rock and roll from the black community. Uh, oh my gosh, you have like the I forgot how they say it, but they kind of made Eastern medicine seem almost mystical. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of religious practice when it comes to like pressure points and your chi and everything. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that yeah, there was a point in time when there was so many misinterpretations on all the interconnectedness of everything that to a certain degree, and it's one of my favorite quotes. I forget who said it, but there's a certain degree where um, science and magic are almost indistinguishable between each other if, due to a lack of understanding, you do not understand how the technology works. So, for instance, light. If I were to take one of the people from the like uncontacted tribes and were to go, hey, check it out, I can make it go from complete darkness to light, you would think I was magic. You would think I brought the sun into my house, lassoed it to the ceiling, and made it my bitch, essentially. When, no, it's electricity, and there's a scientific understanding behind it. And I always felt like there is more scientific understanding and statistical analysis to be had about so many different things that people just kind of want to argue and fight about now on the internet. And it gets weird when your opinions are fact-based. Because when I actually use real fact to counter a wrong opinion, because everyone tries to say there's no such thing as a right or wrong opinion, and actually, yes, there is a wrong opinion. If your opinion is not based in any facts at all, then that opinion is wrong, and it's just your opinion, and it's not wrong for you to have the opinion, it's not wrong for you to think the opinion, but neither is me for having my intrusive thoughts or romanticizing suicide, like a lot of autistic neurodivergent people do. It really helps us process things. I also kind of want to show off my abs right now. Look at that. Yeah. We're gaining our weight back. Which I don't know if I said, I don't mean to be poetic about this, but the psych ward stole from me. They did not care about my dietary concerns. They just gave us a menu, and we were forced to eat whatever they prepared upstairs. And I was literally, there were days where I was like, I don't want to eat any of this. I would tell them I am not a picky eater and I don't like this, or I'd order something I thought I'd like and I just hated it. And eventually I had to network with the food delivery guy. He was a really nice older gentleman. I told him, I'm like, why all this food sucks? And that's why he told me that none of it is freshly prepared. All of it was from upstairs, already made, and then we make our selections based on that. And I was like, well, that's dumb. And he told me, however, there's always pizza. And I was like, oh, speaking of pizza, let me put on my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Excuse me, Luffy. So, he said pizza, and my inner Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was like, okay, say no more. And he would bring me pizza with every meal just so I could continue squeaking on by with the lack of food they were giving me. And don't get me wrong, I talked about my family struggling on the other side while they're just lying to both of us. And by the way, if anyone asks why we never went after them for malpractice, my parents don't like to sue people. They're literally just humble people who don't like to make more out of things than they are, even if it was justified. It sucks. It pissed me off too. My whole life, there have been horrible situations where I'm like, you can't even look into it. And they're like, no, we don't do that. They tell me everything. And as far as I'm concerned, they've never had a moment where things went downhill like that. However, they have always just expressed to me that they just bow their heads and turn the other cheek, I guess, and outlast people. But yeah, so, they'd bring me Subway and snacks and chips, and, my entire desk was, full of food, and at one point, they thought I was, like, hiding contraband because of my white scars. I think I've talked about it on here and the ARG. I think that's still lava mac and cheese in there. Yeah, that's still lava. That will burn me. It's so delicious. I'm not doing it. I'm so hungry. By the way, my hunger is ravenous all the time. I'm not starving. Back then, yes, I was. But I had to form an alliance with the cleaning lady, and she was a lovely woman. I absolutely adored her. She loved my art. And she told me, I can't remember if it was her grandkids or her children, but children in proximity to her, she told me that I was an inspiration for them, and that she was bringing them my work, and she would ask me if I mind, and I was like, no, and are you lying to me? And she's like, no, honey, no, and I was like, okay. But at one point, they were getting mad at me because I was showing my due diligence and cleaning my own room and making my bed. She was like, honey, is it okay if I help you clean your room? They're just kind of blah, 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 contraband, da, 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 da. And I was like, really? And she was one of the few people who were actually, like, coherent with me and didn't treat me like a crazy person. It was her, a pregnant nurse, another nurse I remember whose name was Dolores, because I had a teacher named Dolores, and Dr. Baseball, who was a bald doctor who checked everyone's privilege and helped me get out of there. I call him Dr. Baseball because he was bald, and I thought that would be rude to call him Dr. Baldy, because I have a problem with names. So I always remembered him as Dr. Baseball, or Dr. Basebald without the bald. It's just my creative recall and play. And yeah, lo and behold, before I know it, he was letting me have all these things that they wouldn't let me have because they were just so worried I was going to hurt myself. And he was like, well, are you doing your job or not? You need to see whether or not he actually is going to do this. And then I'll never forget, he actually told me that he came down solely because I was so rational and lucid that it was actually putting him in a weird place. Because if they were right, I shouldn't be this coherent. And so I guess he was showing up to kind of actually finally evaluate me. Unlike my stupid therapist, my other stupid therapist, who tried to force feed me experimental drugs that I've talked about. I've gotten over that. And I think it's all out of my fucking system. But I swear it was like almost like they were trying to make me a zombie person. And I don't want to be a zombie. Thank you. Head snap. And I just always been so tired of not being able to be the person that I am, and that's why I always ended up burying my nose in a book or my video games. My Game Boy, my PSP, my DS. You know, Dylan, my brother was more of the DS kid. My mom said it best, even though my little brother, and I are like best friends. She raised us to be comfortable alone. And my whole life, I felt like that freaks people out. And another thing that I've hated and I've expressed on here and in other places is I am comfortable alone. I don't need anyone else. If anything, I actually am far more comfortable, as I said and I've been saying, with less people around or by myself or, on my own. I do want a significant other, and I do like to have friends. I have made more friends since the falling out with the last one I had. But there's a certain degree where I am just so comfortable alone. But the thing I dislike that I've been talking about a lot too is anytime I've expressed my loneliness, people act like I'm needy, like I'm codependent and cannot possibly be independent. And I'll look at these people and I'm like, I actually currently I have been without true partnership or true friendship other than my family and the new clientele I've been helping with my volunteer service. So, not counting them because we're not like super close other than my family, but they're blood. So, not counting them, it's been 8, 9 years since like a real serious relationship, like romantic wise. And one of the worst things about that is I am so comfortable with the idea of never finding my significant other. I have to be more comfortable with wearing this as a crop top because this is a girl. Well, okay, I like to think all clothes are unisex, but this is a girl sweatshirt. It's my mom's sweatshirt. She gave it to me because it's the turtles. I can pull it down and wear it at my hem of my pants. But since it's smaller, I usually like to wear it like a crop top. And I'd love to show off my abs. I'd love if my body dysmorphia would let me do this. Because I'm just so overly judgmental of myself. So I usually wear an under tank. A black one. Because the white ones remind me of just wife beaters. Which are not a good name. So I wear the black ones. But yeah, I like to wear it up here sometimes. Though sometimes I forget while I'm walking around that this is kind of where it usually sits. Or usually kind of like here. And so sometimes I'll pull it down. But I've been trying to do that more. Especially because I saw this really, really cute guy with this girl. And he walked in with a crop top and abs. And I told him, I gave him finger guns. I was like, dude, awesome. I want to do that. But I told him, and he was like, oh yeah, I know, I get it, and then I high-fived this woman, or his girlfriend, sorry, saying woman is kind of rude. That's my dad's terminology for you. It happens when I'm talking to my mom, I'll, like, get sailor mouth, as I call it, and people are like, we know you talk like that, but, there's people out there who are gonna mad judge you for your F-bombs, and the woman this, and bitches that, and hoes that, and cunts this. And I was like, I'm sorry? My dad and his family swear and talk a certain way. I try to be more polite and say the mean thing in a nice way, but sometimes the words that come out of my mouth are the words that come out of my mouth. So I don't think you guys really want to watch me eat mac and cheese. So I'll end this before I eat the lava mac. You get to watch one bite. Is it going to burn my mouth, or is it just going to be sweet, delicious, cheesy nectar? That's cool enough to eat, yay!